Good evening, everybody. I hope you're all having a great Tuesday. Yeah, nice Taco Tuesday for else out there that like some tacos. All right, we're gonna be breaking down market today. Basically, not a whole lot to break down, as it was a choppy mess. Not a lot occurred as far as my trading. Didn't trade a whole lot, but the market moved in some wacky, wild ranges, doing exactly what I thought. And days like today were rotational and market generated information is not clear. I try not to trade, trying to take more days where I do not um, have a trade on if I don't know which way the market wants to go. So, starting out, let's look at the monthly. Monthly still in a balance. Nothing's changed here, right? Still in this channel. We're still waiting to see what happens. But our weekly, weekly, still trading inside of the monthly channel, inside the monthly balance, but something different happened. On the weekly, we broke out of the weekly balance or 3 week balance high, right? We're one time framing up now. We're going to give it to the buyers. You can kind of see we've back tested into the balance area a little bit. See, we back tested it into the balance area a little bit. Nice little doji on the week so far. We're trying to battle in between some pretty visual areas. That one of them being the 50-day moving average, and on the daily, and then our balance from below where inventory was absorbed and now being trying to be distributed up higher. We're trying to find acceptance of higher price. Let's go to our daily balance, our daily, and something happened today that we'll talk about on the intraday. So you can kind of see here on our daily, we broke out of that balance, so that balance is no longer valid. We're going to go ahead and we'll keep this low here. Uh, we'll go ahead and get rid of that. So what happened today is we broke back down into a balance. So we started a one time frame up after breaking out of that balance on the daily yesterday, and the day before we were attempting the one time frame up, and then today we stopped the one time framing up by taking out yesterday's low. So we took out yesterday's low, back tested the 20 it looks like, and we're doing exactly what I thought we were going to do, which is chop in between the 50 and the 20-day moving average. Going into the CPI, which I believe is Thursday. So market's still waiting on some data to come out, so I would not be surprised if we trade in a balance here. You can call it a 2-day balance, or you can call it a 3-day balance and encompass this whole thing. Um, I think for now I'm going to call it a 3-day balance. We're going to give the buyers some room here. We're going to call it a 3-day balance. We're going to use this low here. This is how a chart balances, right? So the daily attempted to go one time framing up after we took out that weekly balance high and the daily balance high, which was the same thing, right? You can see here we wicked through it, and then we had a day above it, and then today we closed above it, but we're still battling, trying to find acceptance above the 50-day moving average. So with that being said, took out the previous day's low. So what happens? We put the daily back into a balance, and I'm going to encompass this whole range here. Pretty large range, but that's what I'm going to encompass as far as my daily goes, what I just highlighted. So that'll be my balance area. So the low here was 38.29. That's going to be my balance low for the daily. Market balance low. And then this up here will be our balance high. This week up here at 70.25. 39.73.25 is our balance high. 3-day balance high. So you can see how I have this encompassed. You could call it a 2-day balance and have it, you know, here. But ultimately, if you take out today's low, you're going to go and see this low. And I think if you were to break past this low, it's kind of the line in the sand. You're going to go and reach my daily target down here that I have at 37.51.50. We still have yet to reach that target, but for now, and you can kind of see that it's in a channel now, and that would be like the midway point. So if you were to find acceptance below that 20, come down here. I'm still going to call it all a big balance. That might be subject to change. It's an art, not a science. So that's how I'm looking at it, as CPI should give us some pretty large range and volume. We have the 200-day moving average up here. It's crossed all the way through that gap that we still have to the upside. So buyers, what are they looking to do? They're looking to find acceptance above the 50-day moving average, that previous daily balance high or balance, and that weekly balance. Weekly's one time frame and up. We gotta give buyers their due, and we've just put the daily back into a balance, basically waiting to see what happens with the CPI number. CPI number's good, and the market likes what they see. Then we should have no issue breaking out of this balance to the upside, getting above the 200, filling that upside gap, potentially breaking this downward uh, trend line from back of last year, right? However, if the market doesn't like it, we roll over. We should test this low, take back this big trend day, and go uh, break out a balance, put the weekly back into a balance essentially, and test the monthly balance low at some point in time. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it. Go into our 30-minute intraday time frame and see what happened today. As you can see, it was an absolute mess. Nothing real significant here. I'll highlight value for you guys, that way you can see it. Highlight value. All right, so there's value. So yesterday I was talking about our checklist and how we look for it. Today the checklist was all over the place. So whenever I see things kind of equal on both sides of the checklist, I tend try not to trade. Today was a rotational and choppy day, and I do not enjoy trading days like that. It's the worst of your risk reward, in my opinion. And yes, you can fade the edges and the extremes, but it doesn't really serve you well. So initially, early on in the day, we opened up below the previous day's low. So we took out this daily low. We're in the single prints from the trend day back on this day, right? Build later in C period, but only not before an A period. Back it up here. We opened up an A period below. We filled the gap. So we opened with a gap. We filled that gap down, filled it, came back up, got the price probe from yesterday. So as a seller, you wanted to find acceptance of price below that price probe. So that was one takeaway from the sellers from yesterday. We had enough demand to fill this first set of single prints right here. So those single prints get filled. Those are gone. Then later in B period, we push up even higher. We fill the next set of single prints as there was plenty of demand. However, yesterday was a double distribution day, so all this was one distribution. And then from L high to L low was another distribution. We basically, or L's high to M's low was all one distribution. So we traded basically in the lower distribution for a good majority of the day, and then attempted to push up into the upper distribution. We took out the initial balance low, the overnight low. Uh, we filled this set of single prints from back on that trend day up. We still have one set of single prints and the lowest accepted price from the trend day back on the 6th. So whole lot of chop, not a lot to review here. Not a very wide point of control, no afternoon pullback low, nothing in this range. I didn't trade any of this. Could you have? Yes, you could have faded the extreme, taken a short against the upper distribution. You could have taken a long against that set of single prints filling and would have done well either way, as you had a decently wide point of control. 7 wide, nothing to be uh, hype about, but it was a 7 wide point of control. I like, just like Paul, I think 8, 9 or better is more significant, but you had point of control where price rotated back in and traded at where buyers and sellers were happy in that high volume area. So let's go ahead and mark the day and get out of here. So we got the low of day right here, 38.97.25. Boom. 38.97.25. Low day. Today is. You got the low of day. Could you call an F an afternoon pullback low? You could. I'm not going to. I don't think it's going to be very much to lean on because if we get below that, you should go and take out the previous day's low. And then we have our high up here in M period. Up here at 42, 39.42 was our high day. All right. So if tomorrow we open up inside today's range, could expect more chop as we are in a balance. But if we open up above today's high, then you should look to rotate back. There's nothing above us until 39.73, 30 points higher, nothing above you. If you open up inside today's range, can't find your way back in, cannot find your way back into uh, this, basically run any of these stops from the 9th, can't find yourself getting above previous day's high, then you should look to see if this thing rotates back lower. Take out the low of day. If we get the low of day, then you should fill the single set of single prints, or at least find responsive buyers in that range. If we have plenty of supply to roll this thing over, then you'll test the lowest accepted price, and so on and so forth. And this is our balance low for me. Go ahead and label that so I don't forget. For me, that's going to be my balance low. And I'm going to label this balance high. But not a lot today. No trading for me. Value overlap or value lower. Stop the one-time framing up. We're now in a balance. I'm encompassing all of the 6th and the 9th range as part of my balance area. So, like I said, if you take out today's high, you should go test the 9th high. If you take out today's low, then you should fill the set of single prints, get the lowest accepted price, and the balance low. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.